morning and welcome to the Pederscope. I am your host, Steve Pederson, bringing you keys to being the difference. And today is episode number 67 entitled Improvising. Have you ever been in a situation in your life where you're like, I have no idea what to do here. I'm just going to have to make it up as I go along. It's called improvising. It's a very valuable musical skill to have as we're enjoying the smooth, relaxing sounds of the 2-5-1 chord progression this morning. I've been doing a little improvising on my guitar. Now, here's the thing about improvising. Improvising is not just pulling something completely out of the unknown. There is some actual form and structure in improvising. For example, as I mentioned, this chord progression that I'm playing to is a very basic chord progression. It's called the 2-5-1 chord progression. And I know what key I'm playing in, so I'm playing notes that are in the same key as the chord progression. And then I know the scale for that chord, and I have certain, let's call them phrases, musical phrases that I use from time to time in different settings. So when I'm improvising, it's not like I have absolutely no clue what I'm doing. It's not like that at all. I'm working within a structured framework, and I'm trusting the knowledge and insight or whatever it is that I already have to bring that to the table. But what's really fun about improvising is that you just don't know what's going to happen. So it's just unfolding. It's life unfolding in front of you. And it's not like you don't have a clue. So many times I hear myself saying, and I know we probably all say it, I have no clue what I'm doing. You've probably heard yourself say that. And it's just not true. We do have a clue. It's just that the clue that we have is not immediately in the forefront of our consciousness. And so we get a little freaked out because it's the ego saying, I don't have a clue. Well, the ego is not the entirety of you. So it's perhaps true that the ego doesn't have a clue of everything to do in a certain situation. And isn't that life? I mean, I think most of life is actually an improvisation because we've never been this way before. The symphony has not been written. The symphony of our lives, it might be written maybe in some spiritual book somewhere, but it hasn't been lived out, and certainly we don't know exactly what it is. So it's kind of like day by day, we're just improvising our life anyhow, and we're operating within a structure, a framework, much like a chord progression, and we have little riffs about us that we can call on, but we have this opportunity to just trust the flow and just kind of go with the flow, trust the spirit that when we're, being authentic and just trying things. Hey, one of the things about improvising, and you probably noticed as I was here improvising, is that you don't always play the perfect note. Sometimes you hit a sour note and it's like, wish I could get that one back. You ever felt that way about something in your life? Like, wish I could get that one back. I really said something really stupid. I wish I could take that one back. I really did something really dumb. Wish I could get that one back. Yeah, we can't get it back. And here's another thing that I tell my guitar students is that, life is like, well, I don't tell them life is like, I tell them to play along with a metronome. A metronome is something that just keeps time for you. And I say, you can't just stop and restart. If you're in the middle of a song and you're playing with somebody else, you can't just stop and say, whoops, I screwed up. And it's like, you know what? Yeah, so what? You screwed up. We all screw up. Even when we're not trying to improvise, even when the notes are right there in front of us, sometimes we screw up, and that's okay. But the main thing is, don't miss the beat. That actually is probably another title for yet another Pederscope. So many applications for this idea of improvising. As a matter of fact, when it comes to speaking, I was at a Table Topics, a Toastmasters meeting last night, and we were doing the table topics. And table topics is just like it's like riffing, it's like improvising. You're given a topic, and you just talk about it for 2 to 3 minutes. Or wait, in Toastmasters, it's table topics, it's 1 to 2 minutes. 1 to 2 minutes of just sheer improvising. And, here's the thing about improvising and why a lot of people don't do it. It's terrifying. You don't know what's going to come out. You just have no clue, and you might look bad. Well, you know what? I'd like to think of life as a safe arena where we can improvise, we can make mistakes, we can look bad. And you know what? It's okay, because we're all in this improvisatory arena together, making mistakes. But that's not all we're doing. Every now and then, you get a little riff, you play a little riff, and you're like, ooh, that was nice. That sounded great. I'm going to use that one again sometime. So hopefully this little talk about improvisation has inspired you. And one of the reasons I spoke on this topic today is because I just woke up and I had no topic. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to have to wing this. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Let's talk about improvising. And so that's what I've been doing this whole time. It's just completely improvising. I don't have a script. I'm just winging it. So guys, this episode of the Pederscope, you'll be able to find this on my website at stevepederson.com. If you just click on the Pederscope's link. Thank you so much for joining me today for this episode of Improvising. Let's get back to our 2-5-1 progression and have a great day of improvising. We're in the key of C, by the way. Speaking of screwing up on notes, the interesting thing is that if you do screw up, you're usually just one note away from the best note. So keep hitting those great notes and have a great day. Peace.